As oil prices spike, most countries are scrambling to secure traditional sources of energy. China, however, is also investing in something longer term.
You read Xi Jinping's speeches, he comes across like a tech bro. It's tech, 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 and it's almost like the party views this as a panacea for all the problems that China might be facing.
So, China is pouring resources into future technologies that could reshape energy production, dubbed an artificial sun. In March, China unveiled its 15th five-year plan covering the years 2026 to 2030. The plan doubles down on the transition to clean energy. Particular focus is given to nuclear fusion. Fusion is basically how our sun powers itself. It is about fusing atoms together to release huge amounts of energy, to potentially provide clean, limitless energy. Scientists say this process doesn't carry the risk of meltdowns, and it doesn't produce long-lasting radioactive waste. The Chinese government and private sector have poured billions of dollars into this facility to try and make that happen. This is the Tokamak East facility in Anhui Province, China. It is also dubbed the artificial sun. Scientists here have figured out a way to keep plasma stable at extreme densities. This was previously seen as a major obstacle in the development of nuclear fusion. With this finding, humanity is one step closer to unlocking unlimited energy. Though it's still anyone's guess how many more steps it will take to get there.
核聚变，您对它实现的可能性有什么样的看法？
所谓要建一个人造太阳，那么这种技术呢，当下在网络中呢，这个炒作的非常的火。那么这个核聚变既然能够提出来，而且从国家舆论的角度来讲还在传播，那么一定就意味着中国的这个技术水平已经达到了一定的能力。
One advantage that China has in the race to unlock nuclear fusion is its vast industrial supply chain. A project of this magnitude requires high-end forged metal components capable of withstanding extreme temperatures, radiation, and magnetic fields. Something no single company can do alone.
从2023年的60几家，现在发展到将近300家的产业链，基本上80%来自长三角，这个趋势是非常好，有助于缩短聚变投入商业应用的进程。
Fusion is a project for the future. Meanwhile, China scales up what it already has working, nuclear fission.
China views power generation as a life or death issue for the economic development and for the living standards of the Chinese people. China is building, as we speak, the largest amount of reactors compared with any other country, and also China has approved reactors to be built in the coming years and decades, more so than any other country in the world. Why? Because China does want to significantly reduce reliance on coal power generation down to about 35%.
In December 2025, China announced it will start commercial operation of its homegrown small modular reactor, the Linglong 1, located on Hainan Island. Compared to conventional nuclear reactors, small modular reactors, or SMRs, are, as the name implies, smaller. They are also modular, allowing them to be batched together to scale up depending on energy demands. They can operate as safely and efficiently as their bigger cousins, and are expected to be cheaper and quicker to build. Besides nuclear, China has also laid down targets to increase the share of non-fossil fuels in total energy consumption to around 25% by 2030, up from 20% currently. The momentum is clear. Last year, newly installed wind and solar capacity exceeded 430 kilowatts, a 22% year-on-year increase. With an energy crisis unfolding from the war in Iran, Chinese Premier Li Qiang inspected the country's green energy supply chain on the 1st of April. From solar manufacturing to hydropower to nuclear core components, Premier Li stressed the importance of further investments in these technologies.
中国的这个煤炭的这个使用，占中国能源使用比例大概有50%到55%左右啊。那么石油天然气使用呢，差不多15%到20%左右。那么还有就是清洁能源使用水能风能光能这些使用差不多是20%左右。那么剩下大概有5个百分点左右是来于核能。因为伊朗的这次中东的这个危机我觉得进一步让中国人会意识到这个能源通道的不安全。如果我们在未来的30年继续推进能源的自主、能源的转型，我们能够在光伏、风能、水能这些层面上实现中国能源使用的到60%、70%甚至80%以上，那么那个时候中国对石油、对天然气的使用将会降到20%以下相当于倒过来了那么这个时候中国就基本上已经实现了能源的自主。
Despite years of forward planning, China's economy is not immune to current oil shocks. China is the world's largest importer of fossil fuels, and nearly 40% of its crude comes from Gulf producers. It is also well known that China is the top buyer of Iranian oil, even if this data doesn't show up in Chinese customs records.
There is a price shock coming through, but given the level of inflation in China is very low already, that price shock is not too much of a danger for the economy. And where the real issue for China is coming from is the impact on global demand and the knock-on impact on Chinese exports.
The stresses on China's economy are starting to show.
The shock in energy and transportation costs from the Iran war weighing on global demand for Chinese exports. A growth in outbound shipments skidded 2.5% on year. That's a 5-month low, sharply down from a double-digit gain the first 2 months.
The big headwind facing the China economy is a lack of domestic demand. That's mainly on the consumption side, and there are a number of factors playing into that. The household has been relentlessly hit by COVID, property, the internet crackdown, tariffs and higher oil prices, which hit the consumer as well, will not help that recovery. Where the real damage comes from is the potential damage to exports. Exports have been the key growth driver the past couple of years, really extraordinary gains in trade. And if the rest of the world is suffering, the scope for China to continue to export its way to growth is limited. So that, for me, that is the real crux of the Iran conflict and the potential backlash onto China. For all the problems that China might be facing, whether that's demographics, geopolitics, national security, economic growth, through technology development, you can solve all of those issues. So they are willing to make these big bets and chuck a lot of resources on almost these kind of moonshot projects like nuclear fusion, which if it does succeed, is potentially transformative.